Yo, this is the Christopher Complex. We got a interview today that we want to share with you. This is part 2. We interviewed artist Robert Dandarov, and now we have the part 2 to that interview. They have a show coming up in March. The show is March 13th, 14th. It's at Gallery MC in New York City. The show is called Poison. And I think it's a great title because where they are coming from in terms of the purpose of the show and how the art is going to be the message. And they have a pretty strong message about their country, about some of the things that they have seen over the years in their lifetime. They are from Hungary. They was witnesses to the whole Russian occupation. They understand what that is. They understand how art can communicate the feelings of those that are affected. It can also display the amount of pain and anguish that the people have to go through. They have a very good story and are going to be telling it through their new show called Poison. You can reach these two gentlemen at robertdandarov.com. Dandarov is spelled DANDAROV.com, and Stephen Balough, Stephen STEVENBALOGH.com. There, Stephen Balough's wife was there as well. She's so sweet. But we had a part 2, and it was a quick conversation. And again, the podcast, the Christopher Complex show, is always about life lessons, learning. What can you get? Insight, just things that you can take away, and something that maybe inspire you to do incredible things yourself. So that being said, let's get it read and put it to bed. Let's start this thing. And just, add just one or two more things. If you like what you hear, share, because that's why we're putting it out. But anyway, we had this interview in Robert's studio, so audio might not be great, but the information's there, everything is there, and I think you're gonna like it. You can hit me up at the Chris Complex if you want to get in touch with these gentlemen. If you want to go to the show is called Poison, March 13th, 14th, I believe it is, 2018. The opening is Tuesday, the 13th, from 6 to 8. Definitely get there and just enjoy the artwork. So here we go. Here's the interview, part 2 of Robert Dandarov's interview with his colleague, Stephen Balough, and you'll get to talk to them a little bit more. Here we go. The purpose of the podcast is to, if you're an artist and you're struggling and you can't seem to make a circle, a lot of people may say, circle's easy. No, it's not. If you can't make perspective, if you can't play a certain chord, if you don't know how to talk to people, if you don't know how to get up in the morning when you've said to yourself the night before, I got to do this, I got to do that. One thing I know about humanity, somebody in this world has the answer for you. And through conversation, through talking, through just being human, we get those things. So I have today 2 incredible artists. They're going to introduce themselves to you. They got a show coming up very soon. This is 2018. Today is, January 27th? January 27th, 2018. We're in Robert Dandarov's studio. It's amazing. Second time, part 2. We are surrounded by energy, the spirits, the ancestors, the teachers, the masters.
Right. All of them are here.
Standing and looking and watching. No mediocre person.
No way. There's no room for it. No.
And we also have Stephen Balough. He's an artist. What kind of art you do? Describe your art.
Paintings, photographs, experimental art. I do everything except music.
I do everything except music. And that's the purpose of the podcast, is that people, we've been told in this lifetime that you are one thing. It's impossible. The human body is 1 trillion cells coming together as one thing. So how could you just be one thing, you know? So let's take this opportunity to talk about art, what inspires us, what makes us tick, what makes us grow. Again, this is a part 2. Robert, I was listening to the last podcast that we did together, and, you know, we'll just go from there. We were talking about mastery. We were talking about mediocrity and stuff like that, and how people are like microwave artists and stuff. Right. And it was just something that you said that resonated with me, and I just let's start from there again. We'll just continue our conversation. But first, what are we drinking? We're drinking
red wine.
What's the name of it? Deadbolt.
We're drinking Deadbolt 2014 Winemaker's Blend. Tastes pretty good. It's got some. It's not too dry. It's not too sweet. It's just perfect.
Yeah.
And you know what? We also got it in a plastic cup. We're going to change that.
Wait, complaining?
No, I like the fact that we got it in a plastic cup because it's real.
But before was paper was.
Yeah.
Now we got to plastic. Next one going to be glass. When we sell a couple paintings, right?
Right. So we're going to give you guys the information on how to reach the artist, get a painting, how to see. So we were talking last time, and we spoke about mastery again, and you said there is no competition. And I just wanted you to go back on that again, and you know, chime in if you have any thoughts, Stephen, on, you know, what that may mean to you and your art. But we were talking about there's no more competition because in the 15th century, you were saying that there was so many masters.
Today the only competition, I think, is the thing you see in a mirror every day. That's yourself.
Wow.
Competition. What is competition? How you can compete with something you have yourself, which is you, with something else, totally different planet, which is somebody else. This concept of competition is a little ridiculous, of course, coming with commercialization of everything. You know? But we compete is on an end just with ourselves on an end. On an end, when you are alone there laying in the darkness, you ask, hey, buddy, what you achieve this time? Ask. You're not going to say, did you beat Tom and Jack, you know? Did you beat him? No. What you achieve? Are you happy with your work you did? You know, not if the museums or... You can be rich artist also, but you're going to ask yourself deep. You have to ask yourself, are you happy? You know, are you true to yourself? Even the world worship you. Right. Even the world worship you. That's not proof that you're good. You may be fashion. And fashion is here day or two, year or two, 50, even 100 years, but not as the real quality which lasts forever. Like there's some pyramids or Egyptian art or Greek art still lasts its beauty, you know? Yeah. Nothing what we have done today with our hands can outwit somehow that or go over that. That's why we still worship it and love it.
You know, the thing that's funny about it is that the commercialization of everything right now is promoting that happened yesterday and it's no more good. So, like, if you create something on Wednesday, by Friday, that's old.
If it doesn't bring money anymore, it's not interesting and it's not shocking enough, which is fashion thing, you know, seasonal.
Right.
It's gone, but real artist doesn't work for it.
And then the other comment, I have to agree, because last night I did it. Last night I was up, and I make music and stuff like that, and someone asked me to make them some music. And I had a whole agenda. And sometimes, you know, we have like an agenda in the morning, and we'll say, I'm going to do all these things from A to L. I just have from A to L. I don't have from A to Z today. And then you lay down in the bed, and you just said it. You lay down in the bed and you said, am I happy with what I did today? And what did I do? And it's just like, you know what? I was supposed to do A, but I only did E and nothing else. You know, you ever have that experience and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, almost every day. And the question is, you can get out all the potential, what you have inside,
Right.
what you given. If you are not, you are lost.
Yeah. And when it comes to the art, and I mean art, music, photography, whatever kind of art or creativity that you're in, it seems like you never have satisfaction, which is good.
You shouldn't. How you going to have, this is an ongoing process. It's you breathing for 50, 60 years, you know. And the biggest question, why you do that, not something else. It's the mystery, not the real artist can ever answer to you, you know.
You are called to do that.
Huh? What? You're called, right.
Do that.
Yeah.
You're called to do that. You didn't actually.
Money, whatever.
Exactly.
You have to do it.
Right.
You know, you don't pick this profession. She pick you, actually, right? The real.
When did you feel, Stephen, you're talking to Stephen Balough, right?
Yeah.
When did you feel like you got that artistic calling? You know?
When I was in the army,
Okay.
I
American Army?
in the Hungarian Air Force.
Okay.
That was a mandatory service for me,
Mm-hmm.
2.5 years, and there was a lot of accidents. And then I got the call, I have to turn these accidents into art and inform the other people what is going on the world and in the army.
Mm-hmm.
And innocent people.
What was going on that you...
There was a lot of accidents. Airplanes went down, parachutes didn't get to open.
Wow.
Technical accidents.
And this was during the Russian occupation.
Mm,
At
okay.
time, Hungary lived under the Russian occupation.
Okay.
And this whole Hungarian army, but occupied.
In the Russian.
Yes.
Right. So the inspiration came as a way, or was the art like a newspaper, your own personal newspaper, to say, I'm a reporter, here's what's going on, and...
I felt I have to turn suffering into art.
Wow.
That's what.
Is that still to this day when you create your art that you see that inspiration?
Yes.
'Cause when we were talking to Robert last week, Robert said something really interesting, and you guys can go back to part one. And he said, I've been in New York for a while. I still haven't painted New York. And I said, well, why haven't you did that? And he was just like, because, the stuff that I saw in my country, it's like it still resonates. And I still have to kind of get it out and stuff. Do you have the same kind of similar experience in the paintings?
Not only so, I'm talking about carrying, I mentioned DNA thing, which are inbred in you. Like you cannot, like me changing from, horse into wolf if I come to America, you can't really do that. You can act and play the games, but when you find yourself who you really are, you can change it when you're honest, So that's why I say I can't paint Campbell soups or rip a paint
Right,
like Jackson
right.
Pollock,
Right.
because I have to do that,
Right, and on the flip side, there's nothing wrong with painting Campbell soup, because that was Andy Warhol's
You're doing it well.
experience. That was his experience to show the commercialization of America. But the main point and takeaway that we get is this is what happened to me. This is what resonates with me, and it's in my DNA to paint this way. And going back to you saw atrocities and accidents in Hungary, military, and during that period with the Russian occupation. Is there a piece that you have right now that, if I'm an appreciator of art, is there a piece that you can recall and will point the people in the direction where they can go look at that piece that you created that kind of like stems from that inspiration? And what's the name of that piece?
It's called Jan Balogh. Jan Balogh was a Czech student, university student. He burned himself to death in 1968 in Prague to protest against the Russian occupation.
Right. Wow.
So that's one of my favorite art.
sounds awesome. So what we'll do is you have a website that we can go to and have that picture.
Yes.
We'll put the website out there so we'll have participants, if they want to, they can go straight to that piece and see if that piece resonates. What's your latest painting right now? What where spirit are you on right now? Because in the music, just to share with you, right now, and this is the thing I like about art, I guess you guys like the same thing, is that I spend more time enjoying what I can't do as opposed to what I can do. Like if I know how to make a regular 4/4 beat, that's boring. I'd rather try to figure out how to get better, So where are you at, maybe?
Right now, my pieces are ballet-inspired works because my daughter is a professional ballerina.
Mm-hmm.
And I witnessed, I went through all the hard training, but she did a lot of injury, very serious. She was in wheelchair.
Wow.
So I'm making this type of art just now.
Wow. Okay. And how does it make you feel in terms when you paint it? More connected to her, or?
This are not paintings. This I made from different type of materials. Ballet shoes, that's the base, and I use surgical blades and wax and many different type of materials.
Okay.
So you can see some of them on the show. I'm going to exhibit them.
Okay, the new show that you guys are doing together.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the show.
Yes. Happening March 14th.
Where's the show going to be?
Gallery MC, which is 54th Street and 52nd, sorry. And what avenue was that? 10th? 10th?
In Manhattan.
In Manhattan,
Okay.
yes.
It's just a two-person show, or is it?
Two-person show.
Okay, how long is the show going to last?
It's like a month, as I recall.
Do you have the closing date already, or no?
Yeah, we have the closing there and everything. And we're going to have like a 3, maybe opening, kind of.
So you're going to have 3 receptions?
Kind of, right? Or gathering? How you call those?
Receptions, yeah.
Receptions, yeah.
So you have the opening, the closing, and then you have a middle.
Yeah, so that's...
And artist talk.
An artist talk?
So that's in those 3, right?
Yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. No, that's just the way you have to do it. Doing so many shows with my mom over the years, that's exactly what we had to do.
So you can pass by again there.
Yeah, why not?
Get your little...
So what are you contributing to the art show? Do you have like a series that you're bringing?
You see this type of these works here is in the studio, kind of, or something, we'll see. Maybe some photographs. I'm trying to finish this big one and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But what space here, like,
Okay. Do you have a series with this show? It's just...
That's some art series back to 40 years.
Okay.
So I'm going to choose from 4 different works.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
So that's 15 works,
Nice.
How many works do you want to
I can tell you right now. Depends on the space. You have to, compose. Then you can't know in the beginning.
Yeah. No, sometimes, when I've seen some artists,
You can plan, but
they'll lay it out and they'll change it and stuff like that. And, it may start dark and then all of a sudden it's all nice and bright and fluffy. You never know when it comes to...
Important artists brought little maquettes, little models of the gallery space.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can play with the little paintings on the walls and you can plan it before.
Yeah.
But that's not for us yet.
Right.
A couple of years.
Is there another show after this, for this year? You guys slated it? Or
If you organize one in Alabama.
Oh, no, you want me to organize one?
We will have it.
Okay. We may do another one.
Alabama, Birmingham, what was that?
Oh, she's going to
Which
be...
is where are you from? Alabama, you say? What's your power base?
Where we're from, our power base is Selma, Alabama.
Oh, that place.
Yes, that's a really powerful place if you know the history.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's still underdeveloped, and I think they did that on purpose as a backlash to all of the civil rights that came.
Really?
Yeah, because
Still? Even when somebody like Obama came there?
That is a sickness.
Sickness.
Racism is a serious
Cancer. Uncurable? Poison.
No, it's curable. It's curable. It is curable.
If you want it.
If you want it.
Yeah.
But, you know, you're looking at a place where you had a rulership, you had a dictatorship, you had an evil.
Right.
That grew and festered. It's a root. You know, you could easily go in your backyard. I have a backyard in Brooklyn, and there was a vine. And I used to cut this vine every spring and summer. And it just kept growing back. And one day I found the root. And it came back.
Uh-huh.
And I said, oh, wait a minute. This thing has got roots that I can't even see.
That's it.
You know, and that's how racism in the South is. You could cut it, but did you dig enough to get rid of it? So going back to what you experienced in Hungary, you know, I'm quite sure you might have cut the stems and cut some of the root, but did you get all of it? You know, because it inspired you to become an artist. You know, it's something that you still talk about, and it's not going away. So it's the same thing as when we go back to Selma, Alabama. I look at that place and say, this should have been Atlanta. And when I talk to my folks and say, well, why isn't this place Atlanta? And they tell you how the politicians have been running. And if you just saw the Alabama Senator's race, that shows you all these years, you have these Jeff Sessions, you have these people that are holding on to something that only in their minds exists. It's important. Yeah. And the whole entire world is changing, but they have a grasp on it so tight. And the only reason why Jeff Sessions and Alabama has changed is because he wanted something more, so much more that he let go of Alabama. Mm-hmm. But if he never wanted that position as, you know, the Attorney General, Alabama would still be in that position. It's the same thing as any other bad person or dictatorship or just unruly ruler. He's come from racism, genocide, or just pure greed. You know, so my mom and I, we come from Selma. Yes, she was in the civil rights movement. She did that. And her part, you know, is abstract, but you'll see it. She'll have paintings that will depict what she saw. The hatred and stuff like that. And that's seems to be a common thread. And even rap music is like this. The blues is like this, where people will take bad experiences and make some of the most beautiful artwork out of a bad experience. You know, the blues is really just songs about Jim Crow South, how bad it is for black people to live in America. Case closed. Right. But on top of that, you'll hear party blues music. So it sounds like they're happy, but that understudy, that underground, that root is always still there festering. And so like that vine that I'm cutting all over, you can't seem to really get rid of it because it always just comes back.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day. That's why we have art to elevate us and keep us surviving. Art, which I put folk art is like a blues and stuff. That's why I'm saying, what's art? When somebody asks me, I always quote this Schopenhauer. Art is suspension of the pain of living.
Whoa! Whoa!
That's why I'm doing it.
Whoa!
That's why I'm doing
art
it.
Is what? Say that again.
Suspension of the pain of living, and that's why the blues was singing there. The blues guy there, because that blues is also a suspension of the pain of living.
See, that's why I don't want to I don't want to interview you and ask you what's your favorite color. Because if I ask you your favorite color, you will never say what you just said. And I guarantee you, Robert, you'll be like, oh, Chris, I don't like the way my voice sounds. But what you just said, as we say in the street, you dropping jewels, dude. That is incredible.
But that's what it is.
It is.
Same with all art, same with all music and all thing. It's just you have keeping on the water there. This horribly hard living, man.
Yeah. Steven, you feel the same way? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
You didn't say
People did art even in Auschwitz. Imagine it. Poetry and art was done in Auschwitz. This is the 9th circle of hell. So, you see how important is art for survival of our species and the soul?
Mm-hmm.
Which, of course, in the fat consumerist societies, you can't see it because your soul is fed with hamburgers. You don't need anything.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
too satiated. What's the bloody word?
Satiated, yeah.
Yeah, with nonsense. So the spirit cannot even be heard saying, "Hey, please, I need food also."
Yeah, because they're feeding you with hamburgers,
The
video games.
That's why our show is called also Poison. It's the only word to classify this time and era we are living right now. The waters, the soul, the people, everything is poisonous. Like you mentioned, still even Selma is still poisonous, I heard. Still that poison exists there.
That's awesome.
So,
That's awesome.
that's why it's called poison.
So, when you just out of marketing, the spirit is telling me to go into a marketing type of thing. So, when you did the marketing or you did the postcard for the show, what's the piece that show?
We haven't done yet. She's doing the.
Okay, so we'll see it in the future. Because wow, I never thought to name an art show Poison.
Really?
I think that
What do you
resonates.
call it? Flowers?
No, but I just think it resonates because, again, doing this in the past myself and having art shows, you do all the art and then you have to think about what is the name of the show. Sometimes it's hard, right, Stephen? You just be like, you think, but in terms of promoting this show, because we are going to promote this show,
You have to think, yeah?
the word poison and what we're talking about, that's awesome, and that should be promoted. I'm glad you told me it was poison.
Yeah. You can see she has some sample, like,
Wow.
to make like a little urbanity. Well, still working on it, right?
Yeah, that looks good. So we'll get that out to the people when it's done, so that way you guys, we want this medium to be shared, So share the medium with your friends because, wow, poison, that is just absolutely sick. What I should also do is get you guys in touch with some friends of mine that also do this type of stuff. And maybe, if you take this exhibit and we promote it and we get it out there, maybe we'll make the poison look like poison, make it look sick and bleeding or something. Or festering or something like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, we need just graphical. This is, like she said, she need a different graphical program or whatever was that. We need some, maybe Ileana to see it with a real graphic.
Yeah, maybe Ileana.
However you call those things, so you can do anything that you want without problem.
Right. So there's nothing on the horizon after Poison?
Do I have a manager?
What are you a manager for?
You need something. You have to organize that. Whatever is coming out there. Yeah, white is better, isn't it?
Yeah, it's cleaner.
Cleaner, right?
It's cleaner.
It's much better. No, this is much better.
That's clean.
For now, forget the rest. Keep this as the most
It's clean.
successful.
The thing is that you guys look so young, not in face. You look young in spirit.
That's important.
Yeah.
Just look at that.
Look at it.
No, but the reason why I say that and I bring that out is because, looking at the artwork for the advertisement, there's youth.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's purpose. And it tells me that the art is going to be purposeful. And don't lose that, because a lot of times, we as, people die every night. So when you said every night I look and say, what did I do what I was supposed to do? Your drive is there. I can see it in both of you guys.
We know our mission, you see.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, cut more. We talk about it.
So that's the interview, guys. That was the in the part 2. As you can see, those guys really have something really informative to say. They talked about a lot of things. And I think you should go see the show. Poison, March 13th, 14th. I think the show's going to last for a month. If you go on gallerymc.org's website, you'll see Poison there, featuring Stephen Balogh and Robert Dandarov. Again, you can get in touch with them, or you can check out their website, Stephen Balogh, BALOGH.com. Robert Dandarov, DANDAROV.com. Robert Dandarov and Stephen Balogh. Their artwork is there. It's amazing artwork, and artwork speaks from the soul, speaks about the things that they've gone through in their country and stuff like that. As Stephen Balogh said, he got into art because, he saw what was happening to the soldiers and military, and how the military really wasn't taking care of their soldiers, and accidents were happening, and, people got hurt, died, stuff like that. And if you remember in Roberts, he was talking also the same thing, how, the artists were oppressed and they couldn't express themselves and tell the truth to their art. So, again, I want to thank Robert and Stephen and Stephen's wife, Mrs. Balogh, also for allowing us to interview them. We're going to do it again with those two gentlemen when they have another show, or maybe at the closing, or maybe we'll actually go to the show and put that out as well for you, so you can see a little bit more what we're talking about. But this is the Christopher Complex Show. You can hit me up at the Chris Complex. Talk to you soon. I'm glad you enjoyed the show. Subscribe to the show. There's all kinds of things coming up. We have interviews with some more people. That's a lot of information and content going to be pushed out. Keep your head up, keep striving, and don't forget to listen to Christopher Complex, Good Night Grinders, and Good Morning Grinders. Talk to you guys soon.